Hello class, this is Dr. Tausman coming to you live on June 22nd. We have a unique situation for our class this evening. We were going to have a face-to-face or live call-in, but so far there's only one person here, and she happens to be my daughter, Miss Emily. Say hi, Emily.
Hi.
So we're going to record this and kind of consider it an acoustic lecture. Emily is free to ask any questions or discuss things as they come up, and hopefully we'll make the YouTube thing so you can listen in and follow along. So we're going to get started with the agenda, and so what I've asked everybody to do is kind of look at case study number 1. This is, as I'll describe, I actually taught a memory class in the spring, last spring. And we did a very interesting experiment. It was an experiment that was based on a classic study by a guy named Bauer. And I don't know if I put the reference in there. Yeah, Bauer et al., 1969. Bauer was interested in memory and how people remember information better or worse. In the late 60s, there wasn't too much going on in cognitive psychology, so he did a very, very interesting study. He gave people, two groups of people. One group had a list of organized words. It was actually 112 words on the list. And they were all categorized into things like metals, transportation, and the titles matched with the words under things like metals and transportation, so it was an organized word list. Half the people got that word list, and there was another group of people who got a different type of word list. It was random. So there would be titles, things like office, and under office it would have words like duck, hike, bicycle, so that the headings did not match the words in there. And he gave people all 112 words, and basically what he found, well, Emily, let me ask you, what do you think he found when he gave these huge word lists to people? Which list do you think people did better in?
The organized.
The organized word list. And so that is exactly the case that Bauer found in this classic study. And so what I did in my class in the springtime is I actually did a small replication. I didn't follow the 112 words, but I actually gave my class in the spring 20 words. And I actually had them look at 20 words in an organized word list, like is in B on the agenda, metals, transportation. There were 2 other categories. They were all organized. And then in another situation, there were random words. Now, for my particular study, it was a within subject design. Now, Emily, do you know what that term means, within subject design, in this case?
I can't remember.
So, in a within subject design, it basically means that since I only had 20 words on both lists and I only had 8 people in my class, I basically let everybody look at both lists. So I showed them one list first and got their recall, how many words they recalled, and then I did the other list and saw how many they could recall there. So there was a random and there was an organized. Which group do you think, which condition do you think people did better in? The organized or the random?
The organized.
The organized. So this is a situation where the type of statistic we could do, Emily, could you tell me what kind of statistic you think we could do on this organized versus random? What kind of stat would it be?
It would be a repeated measures.
And what kind? Would it be a Z, a T?
A T.
It would be a T-test, because in this situation, as in most psychology experiments, we don't know anything about the population. We can't do a Z, so it's going to be a T-test situation. Now, that's exactly what we did, and the term that I want to focus on here in the abstract, do you see, Emily, where it says the word counterbalanced order? You see where I put counterbalanced order?
Yeah.
Yeah, the word counterbalance here is very interesting. And I think I was going over this with you before class, Emily. Let's say that I had this group of people, these 8 people, and I gave them, all of them, the organized word list first and got their recall. And then I gave them the random word list second and I got their recall. Would there be a problem with giving everybody the organized word list first and then the random second?
Yeah.
Do you know what, could you describe what it would probably be?
They wouldn't get as good scores in the second one because
of the first one.
The first one.
Yeah, there would be kind of a carryover effect, it's called. There would be a carryover effect that the second trial we're just going to do much worse because it's the second trial. So the way we fix that is we do something called counterbalance. If I have 8 people, then 4 of them would get the organized first and the random second. And what would the other 4 get, Emily?
The other 4 would get the same thing but switched.
The random first and the organized second. So I would counterbalance order to prevent a carryover effect. And that's exactly what I did. If you look at the results here, the results, notice what they said here. It was a t-test. There was a significant difference. People recalled more in the organized list than the random, exactly as predicted. So this was a classic study done. Notice the design on this, and if you want to write this down, the type of design, this is a repeated measures or a within subject design, but notice this is a little different than the kind of design we talked about previously. This isn't really an intervention design, is it? There's no pre and post here. This is considered just a within subject design, and you might say without an intervention. It's a within subject design. There are a lot of psychology experiments that are like this. People look at 2 lists and you do this counterbalancing. So that was the example I wanted to use here, and that kind of covers Roman numeral 1 here. I'm going to cut these recordings short so I can make YouTubes of them. Last time I found that if they were too long, it was hard to make YouTubes. So we'll stop this one here.